Thank you, Peter. Beautiful. And good morning. Welcome to the Center for Divine Love, where love is an action word. Peter, I love that. I know that one part of it is your music, correct? That dun, 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 dun. That's by you, because he plays it during our meditation. And then we've only just begun. I remember singing that in school. And speaking of school, I want to say congratulations to all of the graduates all over. And on this beautiful Memorial Day, we want to take out a second to thank or remember those who have fallen during wartime. I remember when it was called Decoration Day. Anybody remember that? That's what we called it growing up. And we went out to the cemetery and laid flowers and decorated the graves of our fallen brothers, sisters, mothers, and fathers during this time. So we ask that you take out some time today from your barbecuing and your African arts festivals and your parties to take out a moment and give thanks and remember those who've fallen for the freedom here in the United States. We have our statement of being, our praise team, Divine Science Principles and Practices by Reverend Tia Atkins, our call to higher consciousness. Cheryl Brown and Peter Williams will lead us in our call to higher consciousness. Our meditation and speaker today will be our Reverend Dr. Howard Denson. Then we will have a selection by Cheryl Brown and Peter Williams, our offering, doxology, our divine news by Reverend Dr. Howard Denson, and then our closing. We ask that you stay tuned, and God bless. Our statement of being is, and say it with me, please, God is all, both invisible and visible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. I am an individualized expression of God, and everyone with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance.
God provides, so why do I worry about my life? You to my rescue 1,000 times. Every other voice, it is a lie. God provides, God provides in ways I can't explain and can't deny. The little that I have, He multiplies. Just when I feel He won't show up on time, God provides. He'll come through when the clouds of doubt rain down on you and test everything you thought you knew. Now finally you see what God can do for you. So tonight, close your eyes, there's no more need to fight. Watch God provide. God provides. It's hard to say when there's no food to eat, or what you see fills all that life can be. And will this be another year of pain for me? But my faith survive only on the things I see, and my feelings can't control my destiny. So God, I only want what you believe for me. So tonight, close your eyes, there's no more need to fight. Ooh, watch God provide. He will provide. Oh, He will. Oh, so tonight, close your eyes, there's no more need to fight. Watch God provide. He will provide. Before your eyes, He will. Oh, He will provide. Oh, yes, He will. He will provide. He will provide. So tonight, close your eyes, there's no more need to fight. Ooh, watch God provide.
This morning's divine principle is in regard to how we, the people, are doing in our responsibility to make this world a better place. The way we determine whether or not we are doing that which God would have us to do, I think about God's instructions to Peter in the scriptures of John 21. Peter, if you love me, feed my sheep. So how are we doing in the feeding of the sheep, in the tending of the flock? Are there still poor people? Are there still widows and orphans? Are there still people who are sick, physically and spiritually? If we haven't eliminated those things, then we are not doing our job to make this world a better place. So you're probably thinking, but there are scriptures that say the poor will be with us always. That is not a prescription for your behavior. The prescription for your behavior is to love one another. Will there always be an opportunity to feed the hungry, clothe the naked, take care of the widows and the orphans? Yes, there will always be opportunities, and every time you see that opportunity, your responsibility, your duty, your obligation is to do what it takes to take care of that. It is not the will of our loving God, the source of every good thing, for anybody to be left behind. Then, if we are in alignment with the will of God, then we should not see someone who's hungry, homeless, hurting, and just let that go on and turn our heads and pretend that we didn't see it. When it is all said and done, we have to look at the man in the mirror. And if the man in the mirror, that is you, that is I, if we haven't done everything that we possibly can to take care of the sheep, If we haven't looked at 100 sheep and we focus all of our attention on everything's cool with the 99 and not look to be of assistance to the one, then we are not living in our full capability as one with the source of all good. We should take every opportunity to correct everything that we see that is not in alignment with the perfect will of our loving source. We have the power, we have the authority, and we must take action in alignment with our responsibilities. And so it is.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love.
Good morning. This is the last Sunday of the month, and the theme this month is principles and practice, and how do you fare? So, what are your principles, and what are your practices? And are they even conscious? Are they intentional? Exactly what do you want to accomplish in your life? And are you spending your time working towards those specific accomplishments? The topic this month encompasses everything. For it both covers your specific hopes and dreams, your goals and objectives that you are willing to spend your life in active pursuit of. And you have the freedom and the power to choose both your principles and practices, or what you choose to spend your time accomplishing. For your time is your life. Your principles, both conscious or unconscious, will be reflected in how you spend your time, whether consciously or unconsciously. So this month's theme covers your entire life. What are, in fact, your principles and practices? Not what you would claim them to be if someone asked, but as your actions manifest your truth. And that will definitely dictate how you spend your time. Your principles and your practices are directly related. For the two will by definition be in sync. The only question is, will you be conscious of it? Our ancestors were conditioned to pray for God to deliver for you what you want. And then to wait for God to deliver that desire which you prayed for. And it may not come when you want it, but it will always be right on time. Right? Unless, of course, God is correcting you by ignoring your requests. Was that not just the perfect theology for American slave owners to ingrain into our ancestors? And they used torture and the worst abuse imaginable to ingrain that slave theology deep into our culture, into our being. And you know what? Our ancestors didn't have control over their destiny. And then when slavery ended, it was replaced with that slavery by other names, like peonage, sharecropping, no one white being held responsible for anything that is done to African Americans, be it rape, beatings, countless Emmett Tills, countless Eric Gardner, slave wages, unjust incarceration, etc. Significant freedom for the majority of us who descend from the enslaved in America really only began with the Civil Rights Movement. But more importantly, we have never carefully examined the institution of slavery and its impact. After all, slavery lasted hundreds of years, and every breath our ancestors took was a breath taken within the constraints of complete and total bondage. And for whatever reason, right up to today, we African Americans have not even begun to dissect the impact of American slavery on our psyche, on our culture, on every aspect of our being. The impact of centuries of trauma does not vaporize because we ignore it. So we haven't even begun to connect the dots from the culture of slavery times to today's culture and its maladies, challenges, and woes. Our brutalization of one another, if you will. So much of the self-destructive aspects of today's African American culture, or right now, today culture, is slave culture. Living on intergenerationally, and we don't even recognize it. We cannot heal until we heal ourselves. Let's face it, folk, regardless of the original cause, today, only African Americans can heal the African American community, and healing is exactly what we need. But today, we is free. Imperfect freedom, yes. But the freedom our ancestors longed for in the days when hope and born and died, today, we can do for ourselves. No one is keeping us from lifting ourselves and those we love and lifting up our community. So we are completely devoted to healing ourselves, right? We spend our time perfecting our culture, doing the things that will allow every child to reach their unlimited potential. Our children at the top of their class because we have that expectation for them. And kids live up to our expectations, right? We are investing our time in empowering ourselves and investing in one another. And my, aren't we reaping the benefits of today's freedoms? Right. Or today, are we even more likely than others to fall a prey to American capitalism's addictive candy? Let me say that again. Or today, are we African Americans more likely than other groups to fall prey to Americans' capitalistic addictive candy? You spend hours every day in front of video screens, choosing from hundreds of channels, dozens of streaming platforms, just being entertained. You can spend hours every day consumed by video gaming, which actually gathers more of our dollars than the movies, and sort of specializes in guns and war, blood and death, just being entertained. Some spend hours daily being consumed by pornography, and not just guys either, just being entertained. And let's not forget our singers and their B&H lyrics and profanity blasting into the ears of our children and disrupting the peace of our neighborhoods. Just being entertained. Heck, we could be so busy, being entertained with everything other than healing ourselves, that we don't even notice that we are not doing much to heal ourselves. Not much at all. Certainly not intentionally. Did I mention social media? Consuming lives? How many hundreds of thousands of hours are invested in social media rather than in healing our community? You can spend your life liking, mind-altering, illegal or just became illegal drugs that steal your time and placates our minds. You might even become addicted to them or get some up a bad batch and die. These pastimes steal our time, block our potential, and keep us from having the time and energy and desire to love one another, to take the individual and collective actions necessary for us to heal ourselves. Yet God has made it so simple. If we only understand that God is love and has no interest in judging or punishing you, but is giving you the opportunity to craft your own destiny here on planet Earth. And now, we certainly can be our true selves. Let's just recap real quick. God is love, and you were made in the image and likeness of God. And God created everything, so you share God's creative energy. That makes you a little piece of God, who is now on planet Earth. You can draw on God's creative energy. And let's realize that God gave you the power to do as you choose while on planet Earth. So, you are a God-like creative being where you get to choose to act with love or with evil. You can choose to be love, or you can choose to be evil, or you can choose to just roll with the punches while just being entertained. It's your call. It's your opportunity to be a grand agent of God or not. For you have the power, you have the freedom, you have the potential. And it is never too late to do whatever your God-empowered self chooses to do. You can wake up any and every morning and choose to reinvent yourself. So stop the loud madness of all the, it's just entertainment. So you can analyze how you really want to spend your precious time, which is your life. What will you choose to create? God won't be mad, but you just might be disappointed in how you didn't wisely use this opportunity to be in control. So quiet your world at least a few hours a day, every week. A few hours a day, every day would be great, but we can start with every week. And examine where you are, where your children and other loved ones are, your community, your nation. Quiet your world and decide how you will use your life. And be intentional. Consciously and explicitly set goals and objectives. Allow yourself to be inspired. Grasp for your deepest desires, even if most would consider it impossible. You miracle worker, you can certainly amaze yourself. Just follow God's plan. 1, decide on deeply held desires of outcome. 2, thank God immediately for the realization of those deeply held desired outcomes, because he always delivers. 3, and this is the important part, This is where it all breaks down in so many people's lives. You have to do all that you can do and all that you can discover that you can do to realize that outcome. Go for it, but you must act. And with all the power God gave you, God don't like you begging Him for what He empowered you to do. He wants you to act like a piece of God. 4, so know that you can accomplish whatever you choose. You just need to actually do the work to make it happen, not think about it, not wait for God to do it for you. None of that. You just do it because you can. God requires that you do your part. And 5, and then keep your eyes open and your mind on achieving the outcome, because God will help you by serendipitously aiding you. He'll cheer you on. He'll send helpful persons who you didn't even know existed by the idea in the next article you read, or the next record lyrics, or the next billboard, or the next conversation. God doesn't clash cymbals and say, look at me. No, He quietly facilitates your manifesting your deepest desires. He certainly will, yet He quietly will. He will aid your accomplishments. It's just God's plan for your controlling your life, for you being able to choose for yourself what you choose to choose for yourself. God gave you the power to compose your life, so know that your possibilities are boundless. Your potential is unlimited. Your accomplishments can be amazing. Or you can just spend your life going with the flow, just being entertained. There is an interesting challenge, however. What if there are things that you need to know and you don't even know that you don't know that the information you need even exists? Or perhaps you're allowing, I have no power to control my life, or the man won't let me have it, or the life isn't fair, life isn't fair. Those are a bag of deeply harmful slave mentality, wasting your life. Almost by definition, in the beginning, a deeply held desire requires that you seek the knowledge needed to learn what you need to know to manifest godliness in your life, or your children's life, or the life of your broader family, or your people, even the life of this nation, which is also yours. Use that ultimate research tool, almost always within your reach, if not within your hand. Use that computer called your cell phone, to access unlimited amounts of information. And information is power, and today is at your disposal. Learn more, seek empowering knowledge, be intentional. Then use that expanded knowledge to do more, to do better, to be better, to heal with real actions embedded in love. And then just follow God's plan to the finish line. Know more, to do more, to be more. You simply make the time to seek the knowledge which you need, so your actions can be and will be effective. But whether you perceive that you won or that you lost, you will at least have the satisfaction of knowing that you did your very best, that you left it all on the battlefield, that you didn't close your eyes and fail to intercede, sit back and watch, wait for God to do it for you. You put your love into concerted action. Let's look at just 3 simple real-world examples of living this. How many of our children's lives become train wrecks because of attention deficit hyperactive disorder? Nobody knew what those words meant in 1965. Yet we have people trying to look back on their own life to figure out how best to help that child. Guess what? There are 70 years of information out there. Tap into it. Stop thinking that your child is today's state-of-the-art knowledge. Somebody needs to drill down to help that child. And what they'll find is there's no cure. But it's relatively easy today to help that child live a satisfying and fulfilling and productive life. How? Hate to say it, black folks, but the meds work wonders. And you can't find a specialist in ADHD that doesn't recommend it in conjunction with therapy for the child, and definitely an ADHD information program for the parents. You'll find that these child needs structure in their lives, and that they have a set of wonderful advantages to go with their need to control their being. And that perhaps the key to the whole thing is not letting the child be frustrated moving through life, losing their self-esteem, thinking that they're incapable. Help them do the same drill down. Help them to understand their situation. Because therein lies their ability to control, to compensate, to take advantage of their capacity. And you know, that child needs something else too. They need the resources. They need the right school. So search out the right school. And if you can't find the right school, you'll be the right school. And I don't necessarily mean home schooling. I mean, there is a legal right for this child to have the services they need delivered by the school system at the school system's expense, and to some degree the schools are being compensated for that financially. Let's look at another example. How about you in your earning capacity? And please don't misunderstand. I do not think money is the beginning, the middle, and the end of everything, unless you really don't have enough. In which case, be thrilled that right now, in this minute, you're living through a set of circumstances that creates a new black renaissance. Ain't enough people for the jobs, folks. General Motors is on TV asking people to come to work here, because when you leave, you can live your life. Live to work so you can live your life. Pass any factory, gigantic signs. Unions behind you, union wages, benefits, vacation, health care. There's no reason that if you want to, you can't leap to a better economic standing today. Just a final thought. Most of us are stuck. Stuck because we don't know what to do. We're stuck by fear. We're just feeling incompetent to rise to the occasion. Ironically, the only cure is to take action. To learn more, so then you can do more. And always do more with the power of love. Amen, and so it is. Let's have a quick meditation, if we will. If you could close your eyes, center yourself. Take in a couple really deep breaths. And as you exhale, think to yourself, I'm entering the presence of God. I'm leaving all of those little frustrations and all that entertainment and all those things behind. I'm going to become silent so I can hear God communicating with me, God inspiring me, God cheering me on, God helping me. Yeah, I have to do it. But if I listen, he'll be there. That's the beauty in what we're about here at the Center of Divine Love. It's the beauty of new thought. It's the beauty of divine science. Don't believe us? Just try this stuff. See if it works for you. Because we know it always works for everyone. Because God is faithful to what God has chosen to do, and he chose to let you have this experience on planet Earth to accomplish whatever you choose. Or nothing at all. That's the creative power and choice that we've been given. So turn off all those distractions. Enter into the presence of God and ask yourself a few questions. What do I really want to care about? What do I want to accomplish during this trip to planet Earth? And why? And do I have the up-to-the-minute information needed to be effective at doing that? And go out and get that information. And then take the battlefield knowing that you can't lose because you got God backing you. Unfortunately, even if you're wrong, God will back you. Which explains Hitler and Trump. He said, here you get to choose. So choose. Don't go through life just going with the flow, wasting your time, trying to be entertained. Use your power to bring more heaven to earth. And if at the end you have to conclude that you didn't finish the race, that's okay. Being black in America is a marathon relay race of intergenerations, but this generation needs to do its part. And don't underestimate your power to be an integral part of that. Amen? And so it is.
Because of who you are, I give you glory. Because of who you are, I give you praise. Because of who you are, I will lift my voice and say, Lord, I worship you because of who you are. Lord, I worship you because of who you are. Because of who you are, I give you glory. Because of who you are, I give you praise. Because of who you are, I will lift my voice and say, Lord, I worship you because of who you are. Lord, I worship you because of who you are. You are Jehovah Jireh, my provider, Jehovah Nissi. Lord, you reign in victory, Jehovah Shalom, my Prince of Peace. Lord, I worship you because of who you are. Jehovah Jireh, my provider, Jehovah Nissi, Lord, you reign in victory. Shalom, my Prince of Peace, and I worship you because of who you are. Because of who you are, I give you glory. Because of who you are, I give you praise. Because of who you are, I will lift my voice and say, God, I worship you. Stay there. Lord, I worship you. Oh, I worship you. God, I worship you. Here we go. Lord, I worship you because of who you are.
Amen. We worship the Lord because of who it is. It is our provider. It is our way shower. It is all things. And right now we're asking that you give us the opportunity to give you the best that we can give you. That what we do here every Sunday is offering our best and understanding what it is to help us as a people to go forth and make this world a better place. And so we ask that you do the same, and that is to send offerings here at 3617 Wyoming, St. Louis, Missouri, 63116. You can also go to our website at www.centerfordivinelove.org. And again, you can send it through mail. I want to say, and I want to take this time out to thank those that do send via mail and that do send through the website. And for those that are in attendance, thank you for your offering. And we understand that offerings don't always come in monetary value. We believe also that time is an offering. And for those of you that have given us the time in your offering, we want to say today, thank you.
God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need.
Amen. Your divine news for today, there's so much that could be talked about. For instance, Ron DeSantis announced his candidacy for the presidency of the United States and used "I'm the anti-woke person" 6 times every minute in the process. And we know that's code words for we're not going to cater to black people. We know that's code words for we're not even going to teach an intellectually honest history in this nation because it might make a child feel bad about what their ancestors did to somebody else's ancestors, and that's a bad thing? People telling a 12-year-old child that's been raped that they have to bear that child. But that's not what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about something really important. Because, you know, we can handle this political stuff. I mean, we elected Barack Obama president. Heaven knows black females elected Joe Biden president. If we choose to come together again, Senate, House, presidency, let's get back to being fair to working people. Let's move more towards Europe. We ain't the greatest thing on the planet. But here's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about Tina Turner. Homegirl, East St. Louis. And my, are we proud of her. She stood up in the face of abuse and said, set me free. All I want is the $34 I have in my pocket and my name. And she took that name and became an example of creating your own destiny. Of realizing that God will back you in all you do. But you know something? Somewhere along there, somebody came to her and said, we got this song we want you to sing. And she said she studied it, and she didn't like that song. And they said, well, you know, you can do the song anyway. And this is quotes directly from her, you know, live interview. And she said, so I Tina'd it up. I took it upbeat. I took it powerful. I put all kinds of positive energy in it. And you know what it did? To some degree, I'm afraid a significant degree, it destroyed marriage in the African American community. How much of that do we have left today? Do our children even realize the enormous advantage it is to move through life with a partner who loves you, who supports you, that you can love? What's love got to do with it? Love has everything to do with it. Love always has everything to do with everything. So while I salute Tina Turner, I want people to stop breaking into applause and cheer when they hear my wife and I have been married for 39 years. That could be the norm. Just pick well. Make a commitment. And together accomplish what you will. Because that's how God set it up for you. Amen. And so it is.
Amen. I didn't know where you were going with that, Mr. Denson, what love's got to do with it, but you're right. Love's got everything to do with everything. Thank you all for staying tuned here at the Center for Divine Love. We pray that we have helped us to overcome some things perhaps that was challenging during this week, during this year. We pray that all is well with you and your family. Again, this is a day to remember those who fought for the rights, freedom here in this United States. So thank you so much. God bless you. Until next week, peace.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let me walk with my family in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be